So I'm one of the most unspiritual people you'll ever meet because I actually don't really believe in spirituality. I believe in reality. And as long as you're thinking you're dreaming, and that's not reality, to actually live in reality, you're present to what's real, not to what's not real. And nothing that you think is real, it's dream. Unfortunately, for most people, this dream is not such a happy dream either. It's fraught with problems because we went to school and we learnt how to solve problems. And so a lot of people spend their life solving problems. Fair enough, but it's not happiness. If we can get back to what is real, we can find happiness just in being here. Because human beings are naturally buoyant. The only thing that brings them down is the way they think. So I'm a reality teacher. I teach people how to get back to reality. I live in reality. I don't live in dream at all. And I love living in reality, and I've lived in reality most of my life. I know what's happening behind me, beside me, above me, and on the ground. I'm here, I'm present. And so many human beings are not. They live in their heads, and this is not a great place to live. It's a place where you hurt yourself. It's a place where you have problems. It's a place where you have worries. You procrastinate in here. You get stale in here. If you're actually living in reality, nothing's ever stale because every moment is new and every moment is fresh. But when you're living in your head, things get stale. You get bored because you are running the same old stories over and over again. The same old, oh, I've done this before. No, you've never done anything before. It's always a new experience. Every time you do something, it's a new experience. It's always fresh. And if you live in the moment, that is your experience of it. If you're living in your head, in memory and projection, that's not your experience of it. Your experience is of a certain staleness if you've done something a few times before. There's such a beauty in living in reality. And we're not talking about enlightenment right now. We're simply talking about present moment awareness, the power of now, the power of being mindful to what is real as opposed to the disappointment of living in our heads in a dream. It doesn't take too many years being alive before you get sick of that, before it seems like you're kind of stuck in a form of Groundhog Day. Yet if we can reclaim reality from the dream that we've caught ourselves in, we can start to live fresh again, and we can start to be happy without a reason again. Because human beings are naturally buoyant. The way we think brings us down. And so I don't indulge in thinking. I can't be bothered. It's sort of a horrible place to live. I love being here. I love being with you and you and you and you and you and you and you. I don't want to be living here thinking about you. I want to be with you. This is called intimacy. If all I'm doing is thinking about you, I'm locked in a dream. There's no intimacy in dreaming. None. You might think there is, but there's not. Dreams can't actually meet because, first of all, they're not real. And so when we get down to it and looking at what is real, if dream is not real, if thoughts are not real, who are you? What is your true nature? Because if we take away thoughts, if we take away thinking, if we take away our imagination, who are we really? If we take away what's not real, who are we really? What's actually here when we're not thinking? And so the quest of the spiritual seeker is to find what is real. And that's why I call myself a reality teacher, not a spiritual teacher. Because spirituality seems to be a bunch of smells and bells, which I'm really not into. I've got that kind of mind that's very pragmatic, very mechanical. I was a mechanic. If it isn't my direct experience, it's not real, first of all. And if it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work. I'm not interested in maybes. So everything that I teach is something that I've directly experienced, something that I know is real, something I know works because I've tried it. And what works is mindfulness and meditation and openness. And that might sound strange, but mindfulness brings you to the present moment, takes you out of your head, brings you back to what's real. Meditation does the same, but also allows you to see how your mind's working so you don't get caught in its dramas. And openness allows you to live like this instead of like this. And this is beautiful and this is not. Yet most people live like this. Some people pretend to be like this, but still live like this because they're defended. They're defended themselves from feeling pain, from feeling wounding. I mean, we all got put in school. We all probably went to kindergarten, and we would have been put in a place that was quite brutal for us. So we developed all these defense systems inside against being hurt. Unfortunately, if we kept those defense systems going long enough, they became our default patterning. So now we're just defended. And we can pretend to be open while still being defended. Unfortunately, in being defended, we're closed to quite a degree. And in closure, we don't really support heart. We don't support the most beautiful thing that exists, the beauty of love. We don't really support it because heart or love is supported with openness, not with closure, not with defensiveness. And so there's a lot of adults roaming around who don't experience a great deal of heart because they're too closed to. Not through their own fault necessarily at all. I mean, we all closed up to defend ourselves because we were getting hurt when we were little. But now as adults, we have this opportunity to actually open up again. Meditation assists us because in meditation we get to have the clarity to see how we're closed. And then we have a choice to open up again or not to open up again. If we can't see how we're closed, well, how can we ever open it? Because we can't even see it. And a lot of people can't even see how they're closed because they're not conscious enough of how their mind is working. The game of reality is really about higher consciousness. How conscious can you actually be of how this is working, how everything's ticking? Can you actually master your own mind? Or is it just a monkey mind that goes anywhere it wants, anytime it wants? And if it's been programmed to solve problems, that's what it will do unless it's changed until you die. Living in your mind, solving problems. I'm sure that when you were little kids, you didn't want to grow up to do that for the rest of your lives. But that's what a lot of people do. I love the freshness and the aliveness of nothing. No thought, just being here. When my voice stops, I hear the crickets. I hear the frogs. I can feel the air coming out of that vent because I'm lucky. We will turn the vents around tomorrow. I know it's a bit late. But these things are real. What we think about them is not real. The experience of them is real. The experience of the sound of the frogs, the crickets, real. The experience of the sound of that air conditioner and the feel of it is real. What we think about it's not real, but unfortunately we've been trained to live in thought. We've been trained to live in our minds away from what is real. And so a staleness sets in because we feel we're repeating a lot all the time. Along with that, we're defended. So there's a little bit of love, but not much because we're too closed to feel too much. So as a mechanic, to get the machine working properly again, we have to do a diagnosis. We have to work out what's wrong. You can't fix what's wrong unless you know what's wrong. And this is where meditation comes in. It allows you the space to have a look at your own mind and go, that's not working well. All the belief systems you have were put into you externally. It's not like you really developed them yourself. You took them from your parents, you took them from your schooling, you took them from your peers, you took them from your church, and you took them from your country. They're all borrowed. These belief systems, along with projections to the future based on past experience, make up who you think you are. None of it is actually real. because it's all imagined. Take away all that stuff and start looking. Who are you really? Or what are you really? What's here before the mind begins? Because as a meditator, it doesn't take long to realize that you're not the mind, because you can be here without a thought. As a matter of fact, every night in deep sleep, you disappear completely as thought. But who you really are doesn't disappear. And so the quest is to find this that doesn't think, this that's already here, that's aware of the mind. What is this? What is before the mind? This is heading towards enlightenment. Because when this that is aware of the mind, pure beingness, becomes aware of itself, it is called satori, a glimpse of reality. When this glimpse stays continuously, it is called enlightenment. And that means if you wake someone up who's awake in the middle of the night, they're there still. It hasn't gone anywhere. They're still experiencing themselves as beingness, which is like experiencing yourself as the sky. Pretty high consciousness levels. As an individual, it's up to you how you're going to play the game, what you do. You can stay closed your whole life. Doesn't really matter. No one's going to care. You can actually stay unaware of what's happening around you. You don't have to be mindful. It's up to you. You don't have to meditate. No one's going to make you. That's definitely not going to happen. It's totally up to you. You're the one who's going to liberate you, nobody else. There are no saviors. The only savior you're going to find in your life is you, because you're the one who has to do the work to raise your consciousness levels. No one can do it for you. There isn't any miracle cure. The closest to a miracle cure is satsang, which is here. And this doesn't work either. Not unless you do the work. Not unless you're the one who puts the effort into making the changes in your life. You're the one that has to be the intervention. Meditation, mindfulness, openness are intervention in consciousness. And that's up to you.